Hello everyone. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at an article from The Guardian that was published on October 30th by Dalia Alberge. Now, again, like my previous video for today, I'm a couple days behind, that I'm making today here. I'm a couple days behind, and this was something that I really wanted to cover because studying history, having a degree in history, this one really struck a nerve with me because it's nothing but revisionist bullshit. Title alone: Hitler joined Nazis only after another far-right group shunned him. A slight problem. Socialism is based off of Marxism. Marxism is a philosophy of the left, far left. So you can't have a group on the right that's literally it's impossible, that subscribes to leftist ideology, that makes them the left. Okay? Nazis, the fascists in Italy, and the communists are all left ideologies that are based off of Karl Marx's work. So to try to say that any of them are far right is disgusting, it's dishonest, it's revisionist history. Yet, this is what this professor tries to do here. Because, I mean, again, the title. So isn't Dalia here. Hitler joined Nazis only after another far-right group shunned him. Like, come on now. Professor suggests history could have taken a different path if Hitler had not been rejected by German Socialist Party. This is funny because, literally, every socialist society is clearly left. Okay, look at Europe. There are a lot of socialist-leaning countries, and they're all left. Yet, the German Socialist Party were supposedly far right. Dalia, this professor here, we're going to get your name. Oh, Thomas Weber. Okay. So, Thomas, Dalia, you're full of shit. You really are. Because you're expecting uneducated idiots to read this and actually buy, like uneducated idiots on the left to read this shit and actually buy it. This is Marxist. All right, because see, these Marxists in education now, they can't have Marxism and what it ends up being called out for what it is, which is a left ideology. Because it destroys their whole belief system. It destroys everything that they're instilling in future generations. Because all you got to do is say, oh yeah, you want to see how socialism ends up? Look at Italy. Look at Germany. Okay? Look at, or say, well, no, like with communism and socialism, like say combined. You know, you can just start naming off countries, okay? And from, you know, Italy and Germany, you've got the former USSR and how many millions were murdered there. Okay, and Lenin did his fair share of murdering besides Stalin. China, Vietnam, and I can keep going on here. Venezuela right now. That's what the left is. That's the left. That's not the right. Yet, you're trying to create this revisionist bullshit and hope people buy it. Adolf Hitler only joined the Nazis after being rejected by another political party, a leading historian has learned. Learned. I love this one. Thomas Weber, a professor of history at the University of Aberdeen, unearthed a previously unpublished document that reveals in 1919 the newly formed German Socialist Party shunned Hitler, telling him that it did not want him in the party or writing for its paper. Now the funny thing is, this is not new information, but yet Weber talks out his ass, Dalia talks out her ass, and they try to make it sound like this was not known. It was known that Hitler joined the Communist Party, the German Socialist Party first, which is nothing but a bunch of communists. Call it what it is. It's the German Communist Party, basically. Okay? They were the communists in Germany. They were funded by the USSR, okay, to destabilize Germany. This is all historical fact. It's also a historical fact that Hitler was a member of it before joining the fascists. So to try to say that it's something that was new and he uncovered it is complete bullshit. I was taught this in high school, but my high school history teacher, the one who actually kind of became my mentor on it, and in part was the reason why I went to college and got a degree in history, because of his turning me on to history. My professors in college talked about it. So this is not new information. Weber said that history would have taken a different path if his membership had been accepted. No, he was a member. Let's get this right. He was a member. They just didn't like each other, didn't agree, and they both parted each other's company. Although also far right. No, far left. Let's get this right. Socialism, Marxism is left. So, also far left, the German Socialist Party was at the time bigger and more successful than the Nazi Party, would actually be factually correct. Hitler might have settled for a more minor role and would have therefore have been unlikely to ever come to power, Weber added. Actually, the thing is, he probably would have come to power in that particular party. Because the thing is, he had the ability to attract people through speaking. That's why they didn't. This is what I love. Because this idiot contradicts himself. And he's a professor of history. This is why I couldn't end up in academia. I would have been like, you know what? I ain't going to be able to have a job. I'm not going to be able to get tenure. I'm going to be fucked. Because I'd be dealing with these little shitbags. And I'd want to kill them. And I'd end up verbally destroying them. Because when you have them saying that they don't want him writing for its paper, it's because they knew that he was a good orator. They knew he was a good writer. They knew that he would get known and the attention would be drawn to him. So sorry, Tommy boy, but you're full of shit on saying he might have had a minor role. As you were full of shit with trying to call this stuff far right, the same with Dahlia. You're both full of shit. Until a year earlier, he had not shown any leadership qualities and had been happy to follow orders rather than give orders. Well, the thing is, he would have, because he drew more people in by saying what he did with the Nazi Party, that's what led him to it. If he had continued writing for their paper, for the German socialists, the communists, the USSR-funded communists in Germany, if he had continued to write for their paper, odds are, as I said, he would have ended up in that leadership role. Because people would have been listening to him, and that would have led to it. Because that's what happened within the Nazi Party. Except he would have had more exposure because he started out talking in small groups. Okay, one or two people, he already said, oh yeah. And then more and more people, and more and more people started listening to him. And the crowds got bigger. So just imagine if the communists had let him write in their little shit rag, he would have drawn a lot of attention to himself. And it would have led to the same exact path. It would have led down the same path, would be more accurate. Due to that fact. Yet, Tommy and Dahlia are trying to be like, oh, look. And they're trying to, this is what might have happened. Just imagine. What if? And they're trying to cover up the fact of their ideologies' crimes. Because their ideology is the left, Marxism, socialism. And the atrocities that have been committed in the, besides communism as well. But the atrocities that have been committed in those names, all right, they have to try to brush them off somewhere. It's kind of like what's going on right now with the whole Russia thing here in the U.S., okay? Because you got Uranium One going on, and it's pretty clear when you've got all these people who are involved in Uranium One investigating Trump with Russia, they're trying to pin their Russia shit on him. This is no different. This is no different. Hitler turned eventually to the Nazi Party, becoming its leader in 1921. Again, why? Because he started talking to people, and more people started listening to him. And as more people listened to him, he drew more of a crowd. That's what would have happened if he had printed through the communist paper. The German Socialist Party was dissolved the following year. Yeah, and you don't mention what they became. They became Antifa. Still funded by the USSR. And they were going around punching anyone. Didn't matter if they were Nazi or not. Do you see the parallels between the 1920s, 1930s Antifa and today? Little punk bitches going around punching people who they disagree with. This is a story that has never been covered before, Webb said. No, it has been. It's been talked about. It's taught in history classes, at least by non-Marxist revisionist professors and teachers, because I was taught it by my college professors, my high school teacher. It finally explains his obsessive behavior for the next few years towards the German Socialist Party. What? No. Dude, if they were dissolved a year later, he wasn't obsessed. And he was obsessed with... Okay, see, this is where you're kind of being dishonest. He was obsessed with the communists. Antifa that was funded by the USSR. Yeah, that's what he was obsessed with. He was obsessed with the commies. Let's call it what it was. It wasn't the German Socialist Party. It was communism, communists. All the other senior members of the early Nazi Party favored merging with the German Socialist Party as a junior party in the early 1920s. Yeah, because they're far left, their ideologies are very similar. There were certain differences. One believed in National Socialism and one believed in a globalist socialism. And the ideologies differ because one wants to take over the world. One wants to create a national identity first. Okay, and then go from there. Because you need something to unite the people. At least that's the theory with National Socialism. And nationalism is that way of uniting people. Because it does on a non-socialist note. Okay, look at the United States with the nationalism during World War II, the unity. Japan bombs Pearl Harbor. The nationalism that made the nation look at worrying about its own problems. Okay? Turned against Japan, and we wiped the floor with them. The same with Germany. So nationalism can be a good thing. Okay? Not when it's involved with socialism or communism or any. It just doesn't work. And you're trying to, like, cover up and rewrite history so that the atrocities of your belief system get pinned on the right. It's disgusting, Tommy. You're a sleazebag. You have a degree in history. You should know that Marxism in any form is a left ideology. You're a disgusting waste of space. And any person who takes a history class with you should go and actually, like, drop the class. Because they ain't going to learn shit from you that's factual. That's clear when you're pushing this crap. It's disgusting. Weber said, had it not been for Hitler's steadfast refusal of doing so at one point, he even resigned from the party for that reason. The Nazi Party would have been absorbed by the German Socialist Party and thus would have disappeared, and history would have taken a different path. With Hitler's rejection by the party, Hitler's behavior at the time, which no one could really previously explain persuasively, finally makes sense. No, it doesn't make sense. Because here's the thing. He was playing the long game. All right? He did not want either party to merge because what he was looking at was the fact of he's trying to gain power. He's trying to get into power. They merge, his chances of doing that shrink. That's why he was against it back then, before joining the Nazi Party. I mean, just look at his pattern of behavior. You're trying to ignore the actual pattern of behavior, the actual historical events, and pull something out of your ass here. That's what's going on. The document is from testimony of Hans Georg Grasinger, the founding chairman of the German Socialist Party. Yeah, like commies haven't lied before? Okay. I mean, hell, I've never met a commie in this country that hasn't lied through their fucking teeth. Well, I can't say that. There's one. And the only reason why is because he's not Antifa and he thinks they're fucking joke. But yeah, and he's a young kid. He's got enough brains to realize they're fucked in the head and they're wastes of space and they're fucking joke. So, but yeah, can't trust a commie. But anyways, Weber founded in the archive of the Institute of Contemporary History in Munich. It's just been overlooked. The problem is that they have so much stuff, he said. No, it wasn't overlooked because, as I said, I was taught this stuff when I was in school. You didn't discover anything there, Zippy. You really didn't. See, but you want to claim you did and you want to rewrite history right now. The document records, in autumn of 1919, around September, Hitler appeared in the office of the publishing house to see Grasinger and offered to write for the paper and to join the work for the German Socialist Party. He didn't have any money at the time, and he also asked to borrow money from Grasinger. But they told him that they had no use for him in the paper, that they also did not want to have him in the party. See, this could just literally be some shit that he wrote. There's no corroborating evidence. That's another thing. When you try to make a historical claim and change history, okay, based on your claims, you have to have multiple pieces of fact, multiple pieces of evidence to back you up. You've got some document by a little commie fuck. You don't got shit, dude. But it was known anyways that he had joined the Communist Party for a short time. He had joined it. Dude, you're a fucking lying little shitbag. It's disgusting. Weber's research will feature in his forthcoming book, Becoming Hitler, The Making of a Nazi, to be published by Oxford University Press next month. Oh God, it's going to be nothing but revisionist fucking shit, and it's going to blame the right for Hitler. Watch. Mark my words, that's going to be the basis of this. It's going to be a Hitler is a far-right fuckwit. All those people in America are like Hitler. It's going to make these fucking analogies. Watch. He's going to make comparisons between back then and now, and he's going to compare Hitler to Trump, and he's going to blame everything, call it all far right, because he's going to use that whole nationalism thing here in the U.S. to compare National Socialism, a far left ideology, okay, to Trump, to what's going on here in the U.S., and then claim it's on the right. Mark my words, I'm actually probably going to pick up this book, and if I do, I will probably end up doing a video on it, because I want to see for myself if this is the case. Because this is just, you can tell that's what he's leading up to. I mean, especially when they're going, oh, far right. Oh, yeah. Yeah. The German communists and the fascists are all both far right. That literally makes me just want to smack my, face palm my forehead. Or palm plant my forehead. Whatever you. It's just that annoying. He said, there's been a tendency to see Hitler's behavior between his joining the Nazi Party in the mid-1920s, the erratic doings of prima donna who acted totally of a prima donna who acted totally irrationally and who, besides being a gifted orator, did not have many talents as a political operator. No one really thinks that in history, dude. No one really thinks that. In my book, I show that this gets the story totally wrong. No, you're basically agreeing with everyone else. Because you don't become a leader of Germany like that and lead it to take over Europe. Unless you are, as you're about to say, Hitler was in fact a skillful and conniving political operator who would never forgive anyone who ever cold-shouldered him and turned him down, and kept a lifelong vengeance towards them. See, yeah, that's common sense. That's how the hell he ended up where he did. It wasn't like, super idiot, I'm going to run the German party, the German Nazi party. No, that's not how it works. He added that on all three occasions at which mergers of the two parties were proposed, Hitler put up an absolute stink. Well, of course, because it would undermine his ability to take control, which was his ultimate goal. The story of Hitler being turned down by one party and then his actions in the new party that did not accept him, the Nazi party, are thus intimately linked. Yeah. The Nuremberg wing of the party with their hardcore crazies ultimately joined the Nazi party, said. Well, actually, over 90% or something ridiculous like that, if memory serves, of the communists ended up joining the Nazi party because their ideologies are very similar. Matter of fact, I mean, Marxism, it's a leftist, socialist, communist little thing. It's a left thing, not a right thing. Right's about more personal, individualism type stuff. So, sorry. I mean, it used to be that far right was considered an anarcho-capitalist. Far right. Now they try to group the socialists and, the Nazis and the commies and all of them as far right ideologies. It's just disgusting. It's dishonesty. It's lying. It's being shitbags. It's being revisionist scum. It's fucking ridiculous. Weber's previous book included Hitler's First War, which is being adapted into a television miniseries. Oh god, revisionist crap, I'm sure. It included unpublished letters and a diary written by veterans of Hitler's regiment that challenged long-held views on Hitler's supposedly brave war record. Oh god. Yeah. Okay. This guy is a revisionist. He's a leftist. He's trying to portray the ideologies of the left as right ideologies. So that book and the miniseries being made from it, I'm sure, are going to be works of fiction if you ever check them out. Anyways, I think I've gone through this well enough here, so I'm just going to leave things here. If you liked this video, depending on where you are watching it, please give it an upvote or thumbs up. If you want to know when new content of mine hits the internet, don't forget to subscribe to one or more of my social media or video accounts listed here. Also, with YouTube, don't forget to ring that bell. You can find all of my video content on both BitChute and YouTube. This may not be the case with other places I upload to, but I will try to minimize this happening. You are always welcome to interact with me at any of these sites on the list, so feel free to do so. If you have anything you want me to cover in a video when it comes to news or current events, send it right along to me. I will try to do my best to cover it. As always, thank you for watching.